What has intrigued me and still intrigues me in science is the complexity, the elegance and the beauty of life. And well, a light microscope is the object to study the beauty of life, the images that you can make. You focus on something and sometimes it can really be so beautiful, the way nature works. I was working with platelets and megakaryocytes, and when megakaryocytes produce platelets, they make these long extensions. And the first time when I saw this through the microscope, I was really emotional even, yeah, because it was so nice to see this happening right before my eyes. That really struck me. I remember at school when we were asked, like, what do you want to go and study at the university? What do you want to become later on in your life? My answer was very bluntly, I want to become a professor. So with this in mind, I started studying. Of course, if you want to end up there at some point, you have to do a PhD. That's a minimum requirement. So I started my PhD in thrombosis research, so the science, the biomedical aspects coming into play there. Then the next logical step is you do a postdoc, preferably abroad, because that gives you valuable experience. So I did that, but in the end you have to, output is almost everything in science. You need the papers, you need the patents sometimes, you need the conference presentations and everything. And this was not really happening for me for a number of different reasons. But by the end of my postdoc, I realized where I am now, becoming a professor one day, it's not gonna happen. So there I had to take a different route, and then I got perhaps one of the most useful pieces of career advice from an ex-colleague, a friend, because I really didn't have a good idea of what next. And she told me, if you don't know where to go, maybe write down a few things on a piece of paper, 2 categories, things that you find interesting, that intrigue you, and things that you're good at, or at least you think you're good at. And based on those keywords, try to look for jobs. And so for me, that was things that interest me, research in general, but academic research, also international collaboration. That has always fascinated me, collaborating in general, but especially internationally. And things that I'm good at, or at least somewhat good at, was putting some thoughts on papers, ideas. I wasn't so good at publishing results, I have to admit that, but the grant writing, that as always, I found it very fascinating to see those ideas. And so this led me to the idea that, hey, I'm sitting at the table now at the applicant side. Maybe it's also interesting to find out how it is on the other side of the table. And that is then the other side of the table. That could have been the European Commission, for instance, but in my case it's turned out to be FWO, and yeah, this is where I am right now. So FWO is the Research Foundation Flanders, and it's actually, let's say, the main funder of academic research in Flanders as a region, and it deals with all areas of science. I'm mostly active in the biomedical or medical field, but we cover everything from humanities to science and technology and everything in between. I think one of the main skills that I need in my daily work is flexibility and also some diplomacy, because there are different parameters that you have to balance, and people, they have questions, they have requests, but you cannot always fulfill those because there are other factors that come into play. So being flexible there, trying to do your best, while at the same time, if you have to disappoint them, trying to do it in a diplomatic way. That's something that I think I picked up throughout my career. Perhaps there is some internal drive inside of me that pushes me to explore other avenues at some point. So yeah, I don't know what the future will hold. It could be at FWO, it could be anywhere basically also. Dare to explore other options. If you come at a point where things are not working, there are many other options out there. So dare to explore, dare to experiment, and if things don't work out, dare to change direction if needed.